It's 6:17, and it is time to take a look at your money this morning. Well, as many of us are well aware, raising a family can be a costly endeavor. According to a recent study by Smart Asset, the average minimum income needed to support a family of two working parents and two children in the United States is $112,209. But that cost can vary significantly from one state to the next. So where do Illinois and Iowa fall in this national ranking? Financial advisor Mark Gravicheski is joining us now on Zoom to break down the numbers. Mark, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Charles. Good to see you again. And let's hope that everyone's favorite weatherman, Andrew Stutsky, can bring us a little bit more of this cooler
All
weather.
right, he gave us some relief over the weekend, but now he's bringing it back. So let's hope he
I
can
know.
kind of
You got to
save
work with him
himself
on
here.
that.
So yeah, well he's got the whole week. We'll see what he does. But yeah, no, Mark, we're glad you're here. So what are some of the costs to raise a family that are included in this study?
Yeah, this study, Charles, calculates the minimum income or wages needed by two working parents to cover basic living expenses for themselves and two children. It includes the cost of basic necessities. Think of your food, your clothing, and your shelter. But it also includes the cost of child care, health care, and even taxes. Now, what this doesn't include is discretionary, or what we sometimes call non-essential spending. Money you spend on travel, entertainment, dining out, or even some of your hobbies. The goal of this study, Charles, is to calculate the minimum wages a family of four would need to earn just to cover those basic everyday essentials.
No, right. And obviously living expenses can vary substantially from one state to the next, but also based on the city where you live. So what are the more expensive states to raise a family then?
The national average, as you just alluded to, for the minimum income needed by two parents to cover basic living expenses for themselves and those two children is $112,209. By the way, Charles, if you're single with no kids, that amount drops to about $46,000. The most expensive state in the country is Massachusetts, where two working parents will need to earn $150,578 for that family of four. Again, Charles, that $150,578 is just to cover everyday basic essentials. The second most expensive state is Hawaii, followed by Connecticut, New York, and California. The cheapest state for a family of four is actually Mississippi, where you'll need about $89,000 to cover those basic living expenses.
Wow, okay. So what about locally? Where do Illinois and Iowa fall in these national rankings?
Yeah, well, look, as we've seen with so many of these state rankings over the years, for Illinois and Iowa, the cost of living is highly dependent, on which side of the river you live on. In Illinois, two working parents with two children will need $115,961 in income just to cover everyday basic living expenses. That's about $3,800 above the national average, and is the 33rd highest among all 50 states. In Iowa, that cost drops to $105,698, which ranks number 23 in the land. That's about $6,500 below the national average. Here in the Quad Cities, two working parents with two children will need $103,558 to cover basic living costs. And in Chicago, look at that. Boy, the cost soars to over $121,000. So, as we can see from all of this data, it's heavily dependent not only in what state you live, but also the city within that state.
Okay, gotcha. Well, alrighty, Mark. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll pass along your request to Andrew for a little lower humidity, and I'll get back to you on that.